Yeah, welcome, John. Thanks for being here with me in B Amsterdam. We just had another hosted transform mini course session with 6 people. Yeah,
Total,
sometimes
yes.
in total,
Sometimes,
yeah,
yes.
sometimes six. So
With
the
the
cameraman was
photographer,
also
yes.
joining. Very nice. Um, so what brought you to the session today?
Well, I wanted to meet other people, and I have done this day previously one time,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was this nice energy, and I thought, well, I need to pick it up, and also to see the two of you, and maybe I could get some new connections or some new insights for yes, the work I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Lovely. So, for people that just jump into this conversation, John, you have been here before joining hostess for mini course sessions, and now you've applied for the leadership program,
Yes.
which is focusing on 3 pillars of leadership, which is personal leadership, um, what do you really want, and what is actually your purpose? All really deep questions, and often hard to think about, but we will help you with that to reflect to help you reflect upon your own feelings and new insights. The second pillar is about how to unlock leadership in others. That's also the part you want to accelerate in, right?
Yes.
And make it your work and your purpose. So we give you concrete tools based on the Hostess from Toolkit, Practitioner's Toolkit, where there's over 100 variations how you can pull that off, and it's not rocket science. And the third pillar is really on about how to become more entrepreneurial, or how to obtain entrepreneurship skills, how to start a project or a business and make it scalable, and also that you get a good revenue stream so you can continue tap into your purpose, and it's not just a hobby, and things you can do next to maybe work you don't really want to do. So really get into your purpose driven business development, I should say. So that's the leadership development program you will join. And maybe first a question: why do you do what you do for the last 2 years? You said.
For the last 2 years, yes, I've been working in companies for about 25 years, and I struggled a bit with being a manager and having people around me and get them in their power, and then to have a person above me who saw things on the other way, by which I wasn't in my power anymore. And then I felt that there was a lot of dominance and fear within the whole company, by which people do not really act out of their own power. Their possibilities are much larger, but they just stick to their very small part of the game they get paid for. And I thought, well, I want to unleash the power that is within the people. There is so much more potential, and when you can unlock that, then there's also a lot of more joy. And well, that's more or less my purpose, to get within the people, but also within total organizations. Potential unlocked.
Yeah. So if I paraphrase it correctly, you want to make a change within the current traditional way of doing things, and you see a lot of large organizations that are kind of in this pattern that they don't even know how to step out of it, even though they have this beautiful change management programs, but they still cannot really grasp it. And you want to work from a human-centered perspective, so
Yes.
really get it from the people and not so much from a beautiful structure or policies that tells people again what to do, instead of turning it the other way around. What do you really want to do, and what can you contribute to this environment you're in?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And What is your background? Maybe a little bit of your story. What did you
Yes.
try before that company?
I've been, well, since 1993, so that's a long time ago. I've been an engineer first in, well, rocket science. I've been
It's true.
I've been working on the Ariane 5 rocket and
Wow.
some parts of international space.
Wow.
So
Sounds so big.
So I've been in those organizations. I also worked in energy technology development. I became, after being an engineer, I became project leader, project manager within a hospital, but also within some other companies, always technically focused. But I saw that the human part of it attracted me more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, after several things happened into my life, I thought, well, I have to do something with this more, this thing I feel within my heart. I have to go another path. And that is to coach people to be their own leader, or to be a good leader for the people they are leading.
Yeah,
They are managing.
they're around with. And in the end, we all lead people unconsciously or subconsciously, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, every interaction could mean you make a difference in a person's life, or you're open for them to make a difference in your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that also really triggers me. You mentioned that you wanna, if I paraphrase correctly, combine the analytical and the spiritual part within people, or how do you kind of?
Well, that's the thing I am searching for a bit.
Mhm.
I know there is a very strong spiritual part of me, and I know there is a very strong analytical part of me and a leadership part of me. And now I try to find how can I put those things together and make the most of my own life, but also of the life of the people I work with.
Yeah.
So that's more or less my purpose. But exactly how I will do, I don't know.
You
But
have a beautiful method already. You told me.
I've got some methods, and one of which is Tokchat, which is a way of moving with a wooden sword, which is developed by a Tibetan monk named Tulku Lobsang, and I'm a teacher in it.
Wow.
And
1 out of 20, huh?
in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands.
One out of 20, I think. And it is to free the mind, to cut the thoughts. You can put a manager on a cushion and say, stop thinking. Well, one thing's for sure, that won't happen.
Don't think of a pink elephant.
For example, yes. So therefore, when you've got this movement, well, women can do it with yoga also, to come in their bliss state. But for men, it doesn't always work because of this masculine energy. And then we use the sword to cut through the thoughts. First, you have got some motions which are rather familiar with Tai Chi, so it's kind of martial art. But you are fighting against yourself, more or less.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, through the give and take and to feel those energies.
Yes, and sometimes you don't even feel what actually happens, but afterwards you recognize that something has changed.
Yeah. And if you would, maybe it's a difficult question, but if you would translate it or try to find the similarities with the host method. For example, today you introduced the colliding brain exercise. Is there some way you see that the outcome might be similar of these exercises? And what are the commonalities?
Well, I think with those exercises you get more contact with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and with the sword,
Mm-hmm.
you get more contact with yourself.
Okay, yeah. Understood.
So I think that's the difference between them, and it's well, you need yourself to be able to see, to get a connection with someone else, but
Mhm.
also to see everything. You know, everyone has got his own truth
Mm-hmm.
because of who he is, and if you don't know who you are, you actually more or less don't know what you see.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, yeah. It's the perspective you have in life, which is co-constructed in your own world again, and that is kind of interdependently related. So
Yes, yes.
you will emphasize that which you already know.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
beautiful.
what you really see, find out, is that you get loosened from your ego during this exercise,
Yeah.
and that's nice, because then you get in touch with that thing that you actually really want.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean the sword or the colliding brains?
The sword.
The sword. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because with the colliding brain exercise, when we did the reflection part, but then you need other people for that. Indeed, people also came up with, oh wow, I just recognized that when I'm judging myself, I'm getting out of the flow status, and I actually bring the other person out of the flow status.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is also like
And this first part,
Mhm.
bringing yourself out of the flow
Mhm.
because of judging yourself,
yeah,
that's also true for working with the sword.
yeah. So there's elements.
Yes,
yeah.
you've got to keep in flow, because the moment you start thinking, you think, well, where was I? We saw it
Ding.
also with the exercise.
Yeah.
As soon as people started thinking, oh, where was I? Who is? And then it all staggered.
Am I doing well? Who's watching?
yeah.
Am I? Yeah. So that's a beautiful commonality, and I love to see more methods, passing by that reach for the same outcome, which is being in touch with yourself and in your environment, and therefore flourish. Yeah, beautiful. And today's session, what did you think of the group and the people? How did it feel for you?
A lot of energy, a lot of laughing, really good contacts, I think. Yeah, really nice.
Do you think there will also, because I of course hope to attract people that are kind of on the same mission, do you think today's group, I'm not talking about the method, but the mission to contribute to unlocking potential of others and do this in an enduring, sustainable way, while you also stay in your own power and make a business out of it? Do you think those people, they're kind of transformers in that sense too?
Some of them are, I think.
Mhm.
Yes, some of them, I think, won't go through with it, but some of them will, I think.
Yeah, to really make.
But it's all they all have the same mindset, it seems. Like they know analytically what they really want, but they are searching.
Yeah, searching how.
What to do now?
What's next?
Yeah?
Next steps. Yeah.
I was happy with what I had, and now I'm searching. Where is my new happiness, or how can I stay happy, or how can I grow for myself?
Yeah. And when I think there was also a lot of people, when do I set the next step towards my purpose? Because even if you have illuminated it and you know what you want, then still you have to do it, which is quite scary if you're by yourself.
Yes.
So I really felt, especially in the final exercises, when people are illuminating each other's purpose, and you start with the stretch goals and things become more concrete and exciting, people really feel that they're supported by each other.
Yes. And you stretch the boundaries, and that's very helpful, because always the only big step is the first step. How small it is.
Yeah.
It's always a big
picking
step.
up the phone and making.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got fear, and yes, you doubt yourself. Can I do it? Will they? Yes, will they invite me or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually the mind fuck, excuse me for my language, but if you think like that, people also see it again and they start doubting.
Yes.
So yeah, suddenly you have to really step into your power, and this is what I offer, you know. And if it helps you, if it's valuable for you, then it's just a simple transaction for, you know, my value for, in this case, maybe even money if it's your company that you're starting. Yeah. And if you can compare the sessions from last month and this month, do you think was there some specific element that you took away from this session and that was different from last month?
I have to think a bit because
Readjust.
we had a good lunch.
Getting to a food coma here. Yeah, maybe it's too hard of a question for now. Maybe you need to have some more reflection time after today.
Well, one of the insights was, and I know it, but again, it came up, is that I can do more than my limiting belief holds me to.
Yeah.
And
you can write it on a paper,
it's
you
stupid,
know it,
yes,
but
you
still
just have to take the step.
Yeah, and to embrace that it's there, and not ask for it to shut up, because it will not. It will always be there, but just thank you for sharing this information. But I will move on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful if you're with a group like this, and in the next 3 sessions in the leadership development program, we have kind of masterminds. So when you set an outcome, I would say, I wouldn't say goal, but an outcome. For example, you want to provide 10 sessions of, what's the name again of the method? TalkChat. I want to provide 10 sessions of TalkChat in Amsterdam before next month. That's something very crystal clear, and if there's people around you that can support you with networks or just with the mindset, or in a humble way, of course, it's not checking up on you, but just, hey, if things are not moving forward, what's the reason? There's a lot of people that say, my website, it's still not online, but that's also, technique couldn't be an excuse. You can also still call, and do it in the old school way.
Yes.
Before your website is even up. So I really hope that people support each other from that.
I got a really positive feeling from this group. People will support and want to connect. And
it was really building up, huh?
Yes.
Like in the beginning, everyone's still, it's always like that. You haven't really built the third space yet, as I call it. And after that, I was literally walking away. I was getting water, going to the toilet.
I didn't see that.
Nobody saw,
saw
the whole room was vibrating.
Yes.
Very nice. So nice that this is actually possible, and you can set the fire, you can be the fire starter and facilitate that, but you not need it so much either that every step you do in this workshop I will lecture that or something, or control it. I think it's the reverse, actually, what I would love for you to take away, that it's you that can make a difference, not per se me. So from in this session you also provided for the first time a little host session.
Yes.
How was it for you to experience that?
Yes, it was nice. Yes. Well, those exercises aren't very difficult also. So that makes it quite easy, and that makes it also quite accessible. And also to give this exercise. And I may be a rocket scientist, but I didn't need that, that part.
You didn't need your rocket science.
No.
Because it's not rocket science.
That's right.
Nice how we can verbalize this and make it into a poster or something. I'll think about it. John, where would you love to see, well, maybe even host transform in your work within a year from now? What, just in.
Well, one of the things I was talking about in one of the exercises with somebody was that I want to make a retreat somewhere in the south of Europe, perhaps Ibiza, do parts of Touchet, combine it with hosted transform sessions and quietness, and then having 5 days of luxury time, I think.
Yeah,
Also.
yeah.
Transforming time.
Transforming
Also,
time,
yes.
stepping into subconscious and.
That's
Yeah.
one of the things. Yes.
Yeah.
But further, I also want to use the host to transform within my leadership coaching, and before next year I want to have accessed some companies and do things with their management teams.
Beautiful.
Because that's the layer that I want to access, because I talk their language.
Yeah.
And I think when I can change the way they think, and they do, then all the layers which are below are also influenced.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to.
Yeah, because
to
they are
do.
the structure of those employees again.
Yes. If I start with one employee,
Of
then
course, the bottom
before
up method is really nice, but you need
Yes.
both.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, top down is nice, bottom up, but it needs to be in harmony again.
Yes, but at the top they might even get frightened when persons are acting different
Yeah.
and becoming completely in their power.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah.
That might be scary,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
isn't if you look from another perspective
Yeah.
and see that those people also can help you.
Yeah. Beautiful. And if you talk about leadership, what is leadership for you versus how you have experienced it in the old days when it didn't really work for you? What is kind
well, I
of the
think-
shift within
yes,
leadership?
I think when it didn't work for me, that wasn't really leadership, it was more management, management by numbers, trying to hold control, looking at figures, and keeping people to a very narrow street. And when I look at leadership, I think I see it as working towards some outcome. And for example, I used it this morning also as an example. When you look at how the Premier League in England, how last year how it worked with Manchester United with enormous budgets, ending up fifth, I think, and then some small team with people that are friends and that are willing to work for each other, and they end up being the first with only 5% of the budget of Chelsea or Manchester. And I think, well, they must have done something right.
Yeah.
And that has to do with leadership and with
serving each other.
Yes.
Instead of being the competitor of one and the other, maybe.
Yes, that's right. Yes. And,
trust.
Trust. Yes.
Yeah, the trust. Yeah, I think trust is something, it's still kind of vague for me sometimes when people say, we need trust in this company, everything will be okay. I really think if you can accomplish it, that people create a likability towards each other, like, wow, John, I really respect him. I have already a picture with you and the sword and helping people and all that. Then I really want to do something for you to make you shine, as we say in improv theater too. And also this morning in the beginning, everyone was an identity on themselves, nobody knew each other and very obvious. And my first quest is always, okay, how do I get these people fall in love with each other? How can I make kind of sure that those two different characters that are really from different walks of life still appreciate each other, and if they ask each other, how can I help you, they're open to really speak up for themselves and get this synergy going. So yeah, I think also with this football team, I think people were really willing not so much to be the best person that makes the penalties or something, but
they want to score as a team.
They want to score as a team,
yes.
yeah, as a whole. Beautiful. So within a year from now, I might have joined the retreat on Ibiza.
Who knows?
I hope, or maybe a part of the thing. Beautiful. Well, John, thank you for this interview. I will see you in the next coming months. I hope we can have multiple interviews, so we can actually kind of how do you say it, harvest your transformation, your development, and maybe the good times, the hard times, whatever you would love to share. Because believe me, you're already inspiring me and other people around you. Don't underestimate that when you're in it. And thank you so much for this little minor interview.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.